Jordan earlier was saying that Jaylen kind of advocated for him playing more, kind of having that like defensive stopper role. What kind of what did the advocacy Jaylen gave there kind of do in terms of like saying like, all right, this could be a role he carves out?
Yeah, I mean, we're always talking just about where we are as a team, where we can get better, what we think. So obviously Jaylen's leadership goes beyond what he does on the court. Just his ability to communicate. It's important to have that. So we're always in constant communication about what we think gives us the best chance to win each night over the course of the season.
That's always been a big deal for you, I feel like, is kind of having that open conversation with players, things they see, feedback they have. Like, how do you kind of keep that open ear to them? Like, do you sit down one-on-one? Like, what is that process like with guys?
Yeah, just talk to them, just communicate with them, whether it's in-game, after game, before game, on the plane. Just constant communication.
Joe, last game you talked about how there was a lot of missed shots in the restricted area. In general, when you go back and look at games like that, is that a result of just like you have a bad shooting game, you can have a bad game around the basket, or do you usually go back and in that particular game, was it people taking shots that maybe were not the best looks, or like the rim protection was a little bit too much, or like how do you kind of look at those misses?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think any miss just goes back to did we read the 2-on-1 correctly? Was it a good shot? When it comes to those, did we make the right rim read? And that's really it. So you go back and watch those. Some of those were in the seam. That was the right play because they were inching out. It was kind of one-on-one. So some of those were the right read, and some of them we just got to be better. So all shots are not the same, but you take a look at them and see which ones we take that are good and which ones we can be better at.
Peyton Pritchard leads the league in field goal percentage from the paint, not outside of the restricted area. What makes him so good at that, and then how special is that at his size?
He does a good job of obviously getting into the paint, creating separation, playing off 2 feet. So he can change pace in there. He does a good job of keeping his dribble, knowing when to pass, knowing when to keep his dribble. But really he can create separation, for his size, which gives him the ability to take that shot.
And then he told us the other night his shooting, he's really trying to just do one motion and not think as much about it. Have you seen that, and are those conversations that you have with him?
No, I don't talk to the guys about their shooting form. I leave that to them. It's sacred and how they work on that. So I stay away from that.
Jordy was just talking about how he spent time with Nimi in Sacramento. He really appreciated it. It's just his willingness to improve and want to learn. Just what have you seen from him in that regard?
Yeah, I think it's really an underrated characteristic of Nimi. He takes his role and he takes his development very serious. And his preparation, watching film, going through walkthroughs, even his in-game stuff. So he's a mild-mannered guy, but he has a very intense attitude towards preparation, towards professionalism, and I think that's why you're seeing him get better and better.
It seems like from our standpoint, he looks a lot more comfortable than he did even earlier in the season and in preseason. Are you seeing like a change in the way that he's operating kind of within the system from his first start to now a couple weeks in?
No, I mean, I think he's just getting better. It's obviously going to be an adjustment having to do it every night as opposed to doing it once a week. So I think that just comes with time, and his preparations remain the same. His willingness to take criticism, take coaching, has gotten better and better, and you're just seeing kind of the rewards of that. So he's just got to continue to grow, but I'm really happy just kind of where he's at, especially mentally, having an understanding that there's an accountability and responsibility to play every night, and he takes that very serious.
Joe, what do you make of the increase of zone defense across the league? It seems like a lot of teams are doing it when they play multiple bigs, but anything else about the trend that you kind of noticed?
I haven't noticed that. We've only seen a couple possessions per game. Maybe we'll see some tonight, but I think it's just playing different ways. I mean, and I would say the players are getting so much better. The offenses are, the game is always tilted, kind of towards the offense. Just with how the players are getting better, and so you're always trying to find different ways to impact the game defensively, and that just kind of seems like a way to do that. But we haven't seen much of it, but we may see some tonight or in the future.
Joe, I just saw Luka guys were swishing 3 after 3 3-pointers. Are you encouraging him to maybe shoot more, long distance shots rather than?
Just really, it just depends. Just encouraging him to make the right read. It depends on how he's being defended. It depends on what the coverage is. You saw last night in the Clipper game, he had 2 pop situations, which he was open, and I think he's good enough and works hard enough to shoot those. you also see him roll and catch it and play in the seam and had one of those on an assist from Derek. So it just depends, on kind of what the lineup needs and what the coverage is at that point and making the right play. But, when he does, I'm confident, because of the work that he puts in.
Thank you, Joe.